Let me ask you something that sounds completely insane at first. You've got two guys. One spent 14 years in school, racked up $300,000 in student loans, works 60 hours a week under fluorescent lights, and has someone's life literally in his hands every single day. The other one finished a 6-week training course, got his CDL, and drives a truck across the country. Which one takes home more money at the end of the year? If you said the surgeon, you'd be wrong. At least in some cases. And once you see the actual math, you won't forget it. That's what we're getting into today. The real numbers. Not the headline salary that sounds impressive. The actual money left in your pocket after the government, the insurance companies, the loan servicers, and the repair bills all take their cut. Because here's the thing. The number on your contract and the number in your bank account are two very different things. And most people never do the math to find out which one actually matters. The surgeon's salary. What they don't tell you in school. Okay, let's start with the surgeon, because this is the one everyone assumes wins. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the mean annual salary for a general surgeon in the United States is around $371,000 a year. And when you see that number, it's hard not to be impressed. That's more than $300,000. That's a real number. Nobody's going to tell you that's not a lot of money. But here's where it gets interesting. First, taxes. A surgeon earning $371,000 a year falls into the 37% federal tax bracket. And that's before state taxes. In a state like California or New York, you're adding another 9 to 13% on top of that. So right off the top, somewhere between 45 and 50 cents of every dollar is going to the government. Let's be generous and say 40% effective rate. That brings $371,000 down to about $222,000. Still sounds good, right? Hold on. Student loans. The average medical school graduate in the United States carries around $200,000 in debt. And that's the average. Plenty of surgeons are sitting on $300,000 to $400,000. At a standard 10-year repayment on $250,000, you're looking at monthly payments somewhere around $2,500 to $3,000. That's $30,000 to $36,000 per year coming right off the top. So now we're down to around $186,000 to $192,000. But we're not done. Malpractice insurance. And this is the one that really stings. Depending on your specialty and what state you practice in, malpractice coverage for a surgeon can run anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000 per year. General surgery typically lands in the $30,000 to $40,000 range. In high-risk states like Florida or New York, it can go higher. Take the midpoint, call it $35,000, and now you're down to around $155,000 take-home. And before you say, but the hospital pays for malpractice, sometimes they do. But even when they do, that's factored into your compensation package as a cost. It's money that could have gone into your salary. Now add the 12 to 15 years it actually takes to become a surgeon, 4 years undergrad, 4 years medical school, 5 to 7 years of residency and fellowship, where you're making $60,000 to $80,000 working 80 hours a week. By the time a surgeon starts earning real money, they're 32 or 33 years old. And for the first decade of their career, a significant chunk of that income goes toward paying back the debt they accumulated getting there. I want to be honest here. Surgeons still make excellent money, and they earn every penny of it. But the point isn't to bash doctors. The point is that the gap between what they earn on paper and what they actually keep is much, much larger than most people realize. The trucker's money, where it gets complicated. Now let's look at the other side of this. If you're a company driver, someone who drives for a carrier like Werner, Swift, or J.B. Hunt, Your take-home pay is probably somewhere between $55,000 and $85,000 a year. You get benefits, health insurance is usually included, and your truck is maintained by the company. Zero investment required. Show up, drive, get paid. That's a solid middle-class income. Predictable, stable, and for a lot of people, completely fine. But that's not where the real money is. The real money is in owner-operators. An owner-operator is exactly what it sounds like. A truck driver who owns their own truck and runs their own business. They find their own loads, set their own rates, and keep the difference between what they charge and what it costs them to run. Here's what the gross numbers look like. An experienced owner-operator running over-the-road freight can gross anywhere from $200,000 to $350,000 per year in revenue. Some go higher. I know what you're thinking. That sounds incredible. And the headline does sound incredible. But, and this is a very important but, that is gross revenue. That is not what goes in your pocket. The math that actually matters. This is the part that separates the guys who make real money from the ones who think they're making real money. Let's walk through what an owner-operator actually spends. Fuel is the biggest single expense. A semi-truck gets around 6 to 8 miles per gallon. Running 120,000 miles per year, which is common for an OTR driver, means you're burning somewhere around 15,000 to 20,000 gallons of diesel. At current prices, around $3.50 to $4 per gallon, that's between $52,000 and $80,000 per year just in fuel. Call it $60,000 on a good year with solid route planning. Next up, truck payments. A new Peterbilt or Kenworth will run you $180,000 to $220,000. Finance that over 5 years, and you're looking at $3,000 to $3,500 per month. That's $36,000 to $42,000 per year just in truck payments. Insurance. Commercial trucking insurance for an owner-operator runs $12,000 to $18,000 per year for liability. Some carriers require more coverage, call it $15,000. Maintenance and repairs. This is the one that can absolutely wreck your year. Tires alone on a semi-truck, 18 of them, cost $400 to $600 each. A full tire replacement is $7,000 to $10,000. An engine rebuild can run $25,000 to $50,000. Annual maintenance on a well-run truck averages $10,000 to $20,000 per year. Unexpected breakdowns, and they happen, can add another $5,000 to $15,000 on top of that. Permits, tolls, and miscellaneous fees add another $3,000 to $8,000 per year, depending on where you run. And then there's the thing that most new owner-operators underestimate: deadhead miles. That's the miles you drive without a load, repositioning your truck to pick up the next one. Good operators keep deadhead below 10 or 15%. Inefficient operators can see 25 to 30% of their miles be empty miles. That's fuel you're burning without getting paid for it. Now let's add it up. On a gross year of $250,000, fuel, $60,000. Truck payment, $40,000. Insurance, $15,000. Maintenance, $15,000. Permits and tolls, $5,000. That's $135,000 in operating costs, which leaves $115,000 before taxes. Now, and this is where owner-operators actually have an edge, because you're running a business, you can deduct a huge portion of those expenses from your taxable income. The truck payment, the fuel, the maintenance, the insurance, all of it is a business expense. Depending on how you structure things, your actual taxable income could be significantly lower than that $115,000. A well-run owner-operator who manages their expenses carefully and uses proper accounting can net somewhere between $80,000 and $120,000 per year in actual take-home income. The top third of owner-operators, guys who've been doing this for years, know the best lanes, negotiate good rates, and run tight books, average around $156,000 per year, according to industry data from ATBS, which tracks owner-operator financials. And here's the thing that changes everything. No student loans. No $300,000 in debt hanging over your head before you even earn your first dollar. A CDL training program costs $3,000 to $7,000. 6 weeks, and you're in the seat. Before I keep going, if this kind of breakdown is something you want more of, hit subscribe. This channel is about understanding how trucking actually works, the money, the reality, the stuff nobody tells you up front. I do this every week. Worth sticking around for. The state-by-state angle, where the comparison gets wild. Now let's bring the surgeon comparison back in, because this is where it gets genuinely interesting. Not all surgeon salaries are equal across the country, and not all trucker salaries are equal either. So when you layer those two maps on top of each other, some patterns emerge that are hard to ignore. In states like Wyoming, North Dakota, and Montana, where there's heavy freight demand from agriculture, oil fields, and mining, experienced owner-operators can command significantly higher rates because there are fewer drivers willing to run those routes. The remoteness that makes those places hard to live in also makes them very profitable to serve. A driver running specialized flatbed loads out of North Dakota's oil country can charge premium rates. Some owner-operators in those corridors gross $300,000 to $350,000 per year. After expenses, that can put them at $130,000 to $160,000 in actual take-home. Now look at what a general surgeon earns in those same states. In Wyoming, the average physician's salary is lower than in major urban centers, partly because cost of living is lower, partly because hospital systems in smaller states have different compensation structures. A general surgeon in a rural Wyoming or Montana hospital might earn $250,000 to $280,000 in base salary. After taxes at 35 to 40%, you're looking at $150,000 to $168,000. Minus loan payments of $30,000 to $36,000, minus malpractice insurance of $30,000 to $40,000, you're down to $74,000 to $98,000 in actual money you can spend. Put the two side by side. An experienced owner-operator working a premium agricultural or oil corridor in the same region, $130,000 to $160,000 net. A surgeon at a rural hospital, $74,000 to $98,000 net. The trucker wins. Not in every state, not in every scenario, but in enough real situations that the math is undeniable. The deeper truth about time and wealth. Here's where I want to zoom out for a second, because the money comparison is only part of the story. A surgeon starts earning real money at 32 or 33 years old. Before that, they've spent 12 to 15 years in training at low pay, building up debt. An owner-operator can be running their own business and earning 6 figures by age 25 or 26 if they start young. That 10-year head start on building wealth, if used correctly, is genuinely significant. If a trucker invests consistently during those years when a future surgeon is still in residency, the compounding effect over a career is dramatic. I'm not saying everyone should drop their plans to become a doctor and get a CDL instead. That would be a ridiculous takeaway. Surgery matters. Doctors matter. The world needs them. But the assumption that has been baked into the American idea of success, that more years in school equals more money, is not always true. And in a specific set of real circumstances, a guy with a CDL and his own truck, who runs a disciplined operation and knows his numbers, can genuinely out-earn a surgeon. That's not a motivational speech. That's arithmetic. The flip side. What truckers actually deal with. Now look, because this is my channel and I'm not in the business of painting a prettier picture than reality deserves, let's talk about what the trucker gives up for that money. Health. Long-haul trucking takes a serious physical toll. Sitting for 10 to 11 hours a day, disrupted sleep patterns, limited access to decent food on the road. These are real costs that don't show up on a spreadsheet, but show up in your body over time. Family life. An OTR driver can be away from home for 2 to 3 weeks at a stretch, sometimes longer. That's not a small thing. For some guys, it works. They love the solitude, the road, the freedom of being accountable to nobody. For others, it slowly grinds down relationships and family time in ways that money can't fix. Volatility. The freight market moves. A great year can be followed by a rough year when rates drop. Owner-operators who built their lifestyle on peak earnings find themselves squeezed when the market softens. It takes discipline to build a cushion when times are good. And breakdowns. A $40,000 engine repair sitting on the side of an interstate in Montana in January is one of the more character-testing experiences the profession has to offer. None of this makes the math less true, but it's part of the full picture. The income potential is real. The trade-offs are also real. And anyone who tells you one without the other is selling you something. So let's come back to where we started. 2 guys. One spent over a decade becoming a surgeon. The other got his CDL and bought a truck. And in the right set of circumstances, the right routes, the right discipline, the right state, the trucker takes home more money every year. The lesson isn't that one path is better than the other. The lesson is that the assumptions most people carry around about money, credentials, and success are not as solid as they feel. The guy in the cab isn't the lesser choice. He's a business owner. He runs the math, he manages the risk, and in a lot of cases, he wins. That's the hidden math of trucking, and now you know it. If this video gave you something to think about, drop it in the comments. I want to know what surprised you most. And if you're not subscribed yet, now's a good time. There's a lot more of this kind of breakdown coming.